Hello Laravel friends, did you ever want to build your own auth system and customize it to your needs? That's what we're going to do today. Laravel offers Jetstream and Breeze fully ready auth systems for you to use, but if you want to bring your own frontend or get other custom needs, we have another solution for you, Laravel Fortify. Fortify is a frontend-agnostic authentication backend implementation for Laravel. Think of it as Laravel Jetstream, but without the frontend. It's a good comparison because Jetstream under the hood uses Fortify. It's what supports authentication, password reset, email verification, two-factor authentication, and more. But why not just take a look together and build something new from scratch? Let's start by creating a brand new application. We're doing everything together here. Let's call this Laravel Fortify. And here you can see we have starter kits, we have Breeze, we have Jetstream, which I already mentioned. So these are fully ready authentication systems for you to use, but we don't want to use one. We're using Pest. Let's make a repository as well. Let's install all of this. We're going here with SQLite and we want to run the migrations. We have no database, so let's create our SQLite file here. And I think we should be good to go. All right, and here we are. We have now this brand new application. Let's just run this, npm run dev, and let's take a look in the browser. And here we go. Here we have our welcome screen. We have our brand new Laravel application. All right, so we want to use Fortify, so let's bring this in. Composer require Laravel Fortify. Here we go. And after downloading, we also need to install it. PHP artisan Fortify install. All right, let's take a look what this command did. So we can see here on the right all the changes to the repository. And you can see we did some changes here by bringing in this new package. And we have a new provider, but more interesting here are all those changes here. So we have a new creation to support two-factor authentication. And then we have some actions here. Let me bring this up here where this is located. So under actions, we now have this new Fortify folder where we have some actions here. Create new user, password, validation, reset user password, update profile information. So these are actions that come with Fortify, but they now live within your application. And if we take a look at this create new user action, you can see it's pretty basic. We're creating a new user by validating the input which we get. We are waiting for email, name, email, and the password. And then we're creating a new user. So pretty basic, but this is what Fortify uses. Also, what's new is we have now a Fortify service provider. Let's take a look at this as well. So the register method is empty, but the boot method has some stuff here. So here we are telling Fortify that we're using those actions. So for creating a new user, please use this action. For updating the profile, please use this action. Updating the password, this, and so on. So this is very handy because first you can, of course, change those actions inside your code because now they belong to your code. And something else what you could do, you could just delete them and create your own action, just pass them in here. So this works as well. And also here in the service provider, we're already setting some rate limiters here for logging and for two-factor authentication. All right, so this is what Fortify brings with. So we have all the backend actions. They are also providing routes. So we can take a look at this as well. PHP artisan route list. And you've seen that our route file here is pretty empty, except the welcome file. But still, we have here a lot of routes here already defined. You can see most of them by Fortify. So this is also what Fortify comes with. And it's also interesting if you take a look at our website now and refresh, you can see we already have login and register links. And this is interesting because nothing is going to happen if you try to click them, except it's failing. But I think it's interesting because inside our welcome view file, here, if we go down here, you can see we are checking if we have a route for a login, and then we're showing the login route. And the same is for registration as well. So this is why we see already those links here, but we can't do anything yet. So again, this is what Fortify comes with, all the routes, all the backend implementation, the actions to authenticate, to create a new user, and so on. So what you have to bring now is the views, because this is something that you have to do yourself. You can see we don't have any views in here except our welcome view, but you need to provide the login view, register view, and so on, because that's actually what you want to do. You want to bring your own frontend because now you can define how it looks yourself, and this all belongs to you. So I have already prepared some views. I'm now going to copy them in here. All right, here we go. So what do we have here? We have an auth folder with some views for login, registration, reset, forget password, verify email, and so on. And we also have components here with 2 layouts here. So we have a guest layout, which we can use for all the views that we want to show to users which are not logged in, and one for dashboard, where we have some kind of dashboard. Okay, so how can we now connect our views here with Fortify? This is something that we're going to do inside our Fortify service provider. So let's go down here, and we're using the Fortify service. And now we have here some view methods which we can use. So one of them, for example, is the logging view. So this gets a closure, and inside the closure, we're going to return a view. And the view that we want to return is our auth logging view. All right, let's try this out already here. And yeah, you can see we have now a logging view. By the way, all the design that you can see here is from Tailwind UI, a product that I bought for you so that we don't have to create them yourself. But in your case, you would need to create them yourself, because that's what you should want if you create your own auth system. All right, so what can we do here? But yeah, this form is not working yet because we haven't connected it to Fortify yet. So let's go back to our code. And let's see where we do have the form here. So we don't have any action yet. So let's provide one here. And there is a login one which we can use. We can also take a look at this. By the way, this now sits on the Fortify route. So Fortify comes with its own route file. And you can see here we have a lot of routes provided by Fortify itself. And you can see we also have a post route to login, which we are going to use here. So we have set this. All right, let's try this out. And we can already see that we get a response back that the credentials do not match because we don't have anything yet inside our database. So let's change this. So inside my database, I have my database SQLite file, and in PHP Storm, I can just bring this up here and open up the tables, users, and let's create a new user here, which is me, Christoph at laravel.com. Let's verify it, and the password I have already prepared, which is already decrypted here. And all right, this should be it. Let's give it another try. And my super secret password. And whoa, what happened here? We have a 404 not found page, but we were redirected to the correct route. So this means we are already logged in, but we haven't provided the dashboard or the home view, which we want to show here. So we have to provide this. This is what we're going to do inside our main route file here. Let's bring in this new route here, and I want to make sure only authenticated users can make requests to our home endpoint, and we're going to return the view home, which is also one which I have provided here. And what we're only going to do is we're going to welcome this new user. So let's refresh here, and voila, here we are logged in. This is our dashboard. We can see welcome here with my name. Also, this is some UI from Tailwind UI. We also have here a little navigation, but none of this is yet working. But yeah, this is a good start. We have already connected our login view to our custom one, and we already made it work that we can authenticate users. All right, so we want to sign out here. In order to make this work, I've just added here a little form here with a request to the log out route and the button here, which looks the same as all the others here, as all the other links. So let's try this out. Yeah, log out is also working now. Okay, next step would be to register. Again, when we try to hit this route, we get a Fortify exception because we don't have a view provided. So you already guessed it. We now have to provide another view inside our service provider. And there's another helper for this. Register view, provide a closure here. And we have a registration view here, which we can use. All right, let's try this out. Refresh here. Yeah, here we go. So here we have our form, and similar to before, we now also have to set here the correct action here. So we're providing a route from Fortify, which is called register. And again, since I use Laravel ID in this application, I can just directly click here and see where this is defined, which is inside Fortify, which is always very, very useful. Okay, so we have a form. We're providing a name, we're providing email, and we're providing a password, and also the confirmed password, which is good. And that's exactly, again, also if we take a look at our action here, if we want to create a new user, this is what we're also looking for here. We are waiting for a name, email, and the password, and we have some password rules where it also is defined that it should be confirmed. So this means that we have 2 inputs to make sure that we use the correct password. So this means this should be enough to create a new user. Let's create Chris. By the way, we have another Chris at Laravel. So let's create a super secret password for him. Here we go, and now Chris is logged in as well. So we've made it now work to register as well, which again, as you see, is pretty simple. You have to just bring what you want to have for your frontend, and we just connect it to Fortify in the backend. And yeah, then most of it works already out of the box. Of course, if your creation process for a new user varies to the one that we have, of course, this can be because you maybe need some new fields, just provide them here. And this will work as well. Pretty neat. Okay, what else do we have? I think it's also a good idea to take a look now at the Fortify config file. So there's a lot that you can define here, but very interesting to us here at the beginning. By the way, this is also the home endpoint here, which we've used. You can also change this as well. But I'm looking for something very specific here. Oh yeah, by the way, this is also interesting. If you are providing an SPA, so don't want to use blade views like we did here, you can also disable views here as well in Fortify. But this is a different topic which I'm not going to go into here in this video. So I wanted to show you features here. So Fortify has a bunch of features here. We've also talked about, I've shown you what registration looks like. We're also going to talk about reset password and email verification. I think that's the next one we're going to take a look at. Let's clean this up here. All right. And then update passwords and 2-factor authentication. So these are the features that Fortify provides that you can use, and you can also uncomment or delete them here if you don't want them, because yeah, each one of those provides some specific code to the framework. So if you don't need it, just delete it or comment it out here. Okay, let's talk about email verification. So you probably know how this works in Laravel. First thing that you have to do with your user model, you need to implement the must verify email interface. That's the one thing that you need. The second thing, you need to make sure that you have it enabled here inside your Fortify config file. Again, by default, this is disabled. And then also on our route here, we also need to provide this as a middleware. I think it's called verified. Yeah, Laravel idea tells me it's verified. And now we see something different here. We are logged in, but we can't see the dashboard anymore because Fortify tries to show us this verify email view, which we haven't connected yet because we are not a verified user. We can, of course, easily change this here inside the database. Let's refresh this here. We have now a second user, and let's add this here. So now we are verified. And let's refresh and you can see we are back. But I want to go back to the state so that I can show you what it looks like to implement this as well. All right, so first we go back to our service provider. Again, this is very similar to before. We need to attach a specific view, and that's the verify email view. Again, we're providing here closure, and here returning a view. And I think it should be this one. Let's give this a try. Refresh here. And yes, you can see we get now this notification. Please verify your email address. Please verify your email address by clicking on the link we just emailed to you. So by default, if you register a new user and you have verify email enabled, a new email will be sent out to this user where you can click to verify that the email address belongs to this user. Let's go back to our register view and let's start by registering a new user. I'm going to use Chess here. chess@laravel.com. Super secret password. Here we go. Now we see directly the message like we've seen before. And we don't see it yet. Here I'm using Laravel Herd. I have here this service which shows me emails, but we don't see that because I haven't changed here the mail configuration. So let's do this real quick. Let's go to our environment file, back to the email settings, and let's get rid of this and copy this. So this means if we try this now again, let's go back and let's delete Chess again so that we can try this again. Here we go. By the way, this is the UI of the database inside PHP Storm. And if we go now to register again, chess@laravel.com, super secret password. Here we go. And now if I switch to Herd, you can see and now see this email address. Please click the button below to verify your email address. Let's do this now together. Again, this is something that Fortify does out of the box for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. And here we go. Chess is now verified and she's now allowed to go to the dashboard, to the homepage. And yeah, this is how we can make sure that users need to be verified before they can enter a specific page on your backend. All right, so far so good. What else? Let's log out again, log in. What about forgetting your password? This is the last thing that we're going to take a look at in this video. I guess these are the most important things here. So this is not connected to a view, very similar to before. Again, we get this exception telling us exactly what is happening here. So let's go back to our service provider, Fortify. And this should be now this one, request password reset link. Let's see if this is the right one. And do I have a view auth reset password? All right. Let's see if I got this correct. Nope, I don't think so. I think this is the wrong view. Forgot password. I think that's the correct one. Yeah, here we go. So here we see now a new view, which I also provided here, where we can say, yeah, we forgot our password. Please let us set it again. All right. Again, this is now not connected to a specific endpoint, so we still have to do this. You have to do this in your view. So if we go back to the form here, and this one is now called password email, I believe. Let's take a look. Post request, forget password. Yeah, I think that's the correct one. All right, let's try this out together. So I do this now for my email address and let's see what happens here. All right, we get a message which is not centered here, which I don't like, but you get the point. We should see now in your email. Let's go back here. You're receiving this email because we received a password reset request for your account. And by the way, this was sent now to my email address. So this looks good. Let's try this out here. And no, we can't see this yet because again, we haven't defined a view where we can reset our password. So let's do this as well. As again, same procedure as the last time. We go to our service provider and we're defining a route. Reset password view. Turn view. Is it reset password? Let's try it out. Let's refresh this. All right, I think it's correct. We just forgot to provide also what was being complained here, that there is an undefined variable request. So we need to provide the request here also as well. So this should be illuminate HTTP request. And here we're providing this also to the view. Request. And that's because inside our view, we're going to use a token. Let's take a look at this as well. I think we should see this here. So where do we have our form here? Yeah, so we have our form. We are setting our CSRF token. And then if we go down here, yeah, here we have a hidden input called token, which we get through the request, which is a unique token, which we can use to make sure that only this user can reset the password. All right, refresh. And yes, here we go. Let's set a new password here. All right, let's see what this is about. I think we forgot to provide our endpoint here. Yes. So let's provide the route here, which is called password update. All right, let's try this again. And here we go. This looked good. Let's try this out. Test my super secret new password. And here we go. So we've now made it work as well, that if you forgot your password and need a new one, that you can just ask for one. And yeah, everything that you need is already coming through Fortify. We just have to connect our views using the right endpoints and connecting the views to the backend routes. That's what we're going to need to do. But yeah, everything else comes already with Fortify, which is pretty cool. Fortify is a minimal but powerful authentication layer that you can customize to your needs. I hope that I could show you that today. As always, please find more details in the official documentation because there is much more to discover. Have fun building your own custom authentication systems with Fortify. Bye.